Hello, one and all. This is Baka&Co, a show where we talk about all things anime and manga, from news to reviews and everything in between. I am your host, Frankfurter, and with me is my co-host, the donut deviant, Magically Average. Today, we are going to talk about Fall Anime 2022 channel announcements and Mob Psycho 100 recasting its dub, and more. But before that, how you doing, Tyler? It's a busy episode. Make it quick.
Let's go.
So you're doing good? Okay, cool. Let's just fucking hop right into it because this is gonna be a busy episode as we said. We're gonna hop into news story number 1, which is Crunchyroll and HIDIVE announced their fall 2022 lineup, while Netflix looks towards the future. So basically, it's right. We're a week away from fall 2022. Crunchyroll and HIDIVE announced their lineups. There's nothing new about that. However, Netflix had like an event in a different country, and they announced a shit ton of anime for next year, so we will hop into all that. But airing on Crunchyroll, their fall 2022 lineup, which is not complete yet, there's still some TBD shows. So if you don't hear the show you're mostly anticipated for this season, there's some hope that it'll still be here, except just not for Bleach. So just put that out of your mind. Crunchyroll, you have Chainsaw Man on October 11th, Spy X Family Season 1 Part 2 on October 4th. Or sorry, 1st. I can't read. Apparently, it's just right there. Mob Psycho 100 Season 3 on October 5th. My Hero Academia Season 6 on October 1st. Blue Lock on October 8th. Pop Team Epic Season 2 on October 1st. Uzaki-chan Season 2 on October 1st. Beast Tamer on October 2nd. Berserk The Golden Age Arc Memorial Edition on October 1st. Bocchi the Rock on October 8th. Do It Yourself on October 5th. I'm the Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss, which is out now. You can go watch episode 1 on Crunchyroll right now. Just turn this off. Go. If that's your shtick.
Aye.
But, you could also listen to this, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Idolish 7 Third Beat, or Season 3, on October 2nd. I think that's actually Core 2 for Season 3, if I'm not mistaken. But regardless, October 2nd. Legend of Mana, The Teardrop Crystal, on October 7th. Legend of the Galactic Heroes Die New Twice these I don't know, Season 4 on September 29th. I almost said Metal Gear Solid, but that's shoot, fuck, what's the mech show that we always make fun of? Mobile Suit Gundam. Why did I do MGS? It's MSG. Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury on October 2nd. Love Alternative Season 2 on October 5th. Raven of the Inner Palace on October 1st. Shinobi no Itoki on October 4th. The Human Crazy University on October 5th, To Your Eternity Season 2 on October 23rd, Tonakawa Over the Moon for You special episode on November 22nd, Vazrock on October 4th, and Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun Season 3 on October 8th. So those are what is announced for Crunchyroll right now. They still do have like minimum at least one show that they still need to announce because they had a section of their top picks for the season, and one of them was still TBD. So more to come from Crunchyroll probably this week, but as of right now,
Hopefully.
that is your lineup for Crunchyroll. On the other hand, we have HIDIVE, which actually has a lot more shows than I thought they would, and a lot more quality shows that I actually want to give a try. But starting it off, we have My Master Has No Tail on September 30th. I've somehow gotten stronger when I improved my farm-related skills on October 1st. Management of a Novice Alchemist on October 3rd. Encouragement of Climb Next Summit on October 5th. Reincarnated as a Sword on October 5th. The Eminence in Shadow on October 5th. Bibliophile Princess on October 6th. Akiba Maid War on October 6th. Love Flops on October 12th. Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time Season 2 Super Extra on October 10th, which, by the way, if you look at the poster, the Super Extra, they put the S in yellow and the EX in extra in yellow, so it just says sex. So you could tell what that show's about if you didn't
Very
know.
subtle.
Super subtle. But anyways, and then the biggest probably get for HIDIVE, Urusei Yatsura on October 14th, which we discussed last time in our preview episode as being a older show that they're rebooting. And then, as I said, Netflix, they had an event this past weekend, and they announced a shit ton of stuff that actually looks pretty damn good. I'm intrigued by a lot of this. But to start it off, we have I'm gonna butcher this. I'm sorry. Omnioji novels are getting an anime series in 2023. My Daemon, which is also Boku no Daemon, no clue when. It just was announced, so that's pretty neat. That's getting an anime. Make My Day anime film will release in February 2023. I looked this up, and the plot and the vibes I was getting was basically Lost Planet, which I thought was pretty fucking cool. And if it is like Lost Planet, I'm looking forward to it because they had sketches of mechs. It takes place on an ice planet, and there are like creatures that are coming up from the ground. So,
Sweet.
yeah. Another one that I'm looking forward to, and I actually sent my buddy this. Gudetama, an excellent adventure, is getting a live-action / CG hybrid film that will premiere worldwide on December 13th.
How do you do a live action?
Oh, dude, it looks
Gudetama?
pretty. It looks funny as heck.
Well,
I'm actually looking. Like, I sent this to my buddy Greg because he long time ago gave me a little Gudetama pop figure, which I didn't realize it was a pop figure until way later on. And I sent it to him. He was like, "I thought you were gonna send me the Last of Us trailer, but this was a pleasant surprise. I'm looking forward to this." So there's at least 2 of us out there looking forward to this this movie. But that is coming out worldwide on December 13th, which is awesome. We also have Way the House Husband is getting a season 2 in January 2023. Agretzko is getting a season 5, which will be the final season, launching in February 2023. Junji Ito, Manic Japanese Tales of Macabre. I can never say that word.
Macabre?
Is it macabre? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's an anime show that's just short stories. It will premiere on January 19th, 2023. The anime film Moonrise will be coming out in 2024. This is actually, I didn't read what the plot was, but I saw who was attached to it, and I'm very excited. It's being made by Wit Studio, they're making it, but it's also involving the author Ubukata, which he was the original creator of Marduk Scramble, and he wrote some episodes of Ghost in the Shell Arise. The director is Masashi Koizuka, which he directed the seasons 2 and 3 of Attack on Titan, which are arguably the better seasons, minus season 1. Season 1 was really good too. And then the character designer is Hiromu Arakawa, which is the character designer for Full Metal Alchemist and Silver Spoon. So, like, really huge names attached to this one movie. So look out for the movie Moonrise, which will be coming out in 2024.
Based on the director, we can only assume that the first half of the movie is going to suck, but then the second half of the movie is going to be really good.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it'll be like convoluted as hell, and then all of a sudden it'll all make sense by the end.
Sure, we'll go with that.
And then 2 more announcements for Netflix. The anime Exception will premiere on October 13th. Did not read anything about it, but it seemed kind of maybe in the horror genre, which would be great because spooky season definitely needs spooky anime. And we can get some spooky anime, that'd be freaking great. And then the last thing that I saw was Onimusha, the video game series for the PlayStation, is getting an anime. So really fucking looking forward to what Netflix has like prepared. I thought they were like getting rid of animation and everything, but it seems like they're doubling down on anime, which is great. Really love to hear that they're putting a lot of money and effort into it. Do any of these like stand out to you? Anything surprise? No.
I think the one thing that stood out was what you had noted, which is the Urusei Yatsura going to High Dive. I feel like High Dive's been snatching up like just one clutch anime every season lately.
They've been getting like the cult classics, I feel like, because I feel like Call of the Night could be a cult classic.
Yeah, but I mean they've been snagging like just one, just enough for people to go, okay, High Dive, I see you. I'll probably end up going over to you and watching some.
Yeah, but like the people who are really into the weeds of anime, they're just like, oh, they've got something for me over there.
Yeah, like this season we had Danmachi, we had Call of the Night. There were
Made in Abyss.
Yeah, Made in Abyss made its way over there. For other people that liked it, there was the Vermeil in Gold, I think, which has a good story, definitely very ecchi. But I mean, it has some good hits. So for them to be able to pick up a classic like Urusei Yatsura, like that's pretty solid, especially since they already have Reincarnated as a Sword. Love Flops, which we both think is going to be hilarious.
Ridiculous.
extremely ecchi.
Which we
And
also
then
both
it's
just
the
found out.
shadow.
We also both just found out that Love Flops is also a sci-fi, apparently.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah.
So, I that's the one thing. The other thing too is we talked about it a while back, but happy to see that Way of the House Husband's getting a second season because we had originally thought it was just getting that live action thing.
Which
So,
honestly, I'm looking forward more so to the live action than the anime because
yeah,
of the art choices that they decided to just basically make it the panels of the manga. Like I enjoyed the manga for what I read. I think I read the first 3 volumes of it, but it wasn't anything that really kind of stuck with me
yeah. I would say though that
anime wise, anyways.
it's at least interesting at how its adaptation is to from manga to anime. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same boat though, where I just couldn't get past that the style choices that they made, but still good news.
Yep.
But then yeah, I mean, no surprise with everything from Crunchyroll, they have a stacked lineup. But to your point that you made earlier and what we'll talk about later, still no word on Bleach.
No
So
word on Bleach and no word on all the lies we tell or the little lies we tell, which I'm really
yeah,
interested if that'll be on Crunchyroll later. So more to come there, but if you want to look it up, they have their own kind of like blog post as to what they have and also what is Crunchyroll anyways, not High Dive. They usually announce late into the season what's getting a dub, but Crunchyroll has announced what is also going to have a dub, and if they have a date for the dub, that's also on their website as well. So if you want to look more into that, you can look more into that. But other than that, yeah, it's good news all around. At least the Netflix side, I think that High Dive and Crunchyroll is essentially what we expected from the two, minus
yeah.
a few shows like the Reincarnated as a Sword and Urusei Yatsura were the two that I was kind of taken aback of. Oh, interesting! I didn't realize it would go there, but we'll just have to see. Only 1 week away, not even.
Not even. We've got some shows coming out this weekend. So.
Yeah, we do. But let's move straight into news story number 2. It won't happen this weekend, but it will happen in 2 weeks. Chainsaw Man is coming, and it has 12 ending theme songs, which is a shit ton. Yes, you heard that correct. Chainsaw Man will have an astounding 12 ending songs, one for each episode. They will also have posted the track list for the endings. However, we don't know what order they're going to be performed. It could be this is the order, but that's, to be seen. I will try to pronounce some of these titles. Some of them I won't
this is going to be good.
Yes.
Buckle up, folks. We're not even at the anime news and announcements yet. You're
to
getting
be fair,
a quick
if they have an English title, I will be reading the English title. So actually, this will be fine. 200 Million Centimeters on the Edge by Maximum the Hormone. Great fucking band name. All Kinds of Kisses by Ano. Fight Song by Eve, which is a huge artist. They do a lot of intros. If you haven't, you've probably heard a few of their songs. So if not, go look them up. They're great artists. Deep Down by Aimer.
They did the opening theme song for the latest season of Demon Slayer, FYI.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Good to know. Cerebral Rendezvous by Canaria? Yeah. Sure. In the Back Room by Siodo. Violence by Queen Bee. Time Left by Zudomayo. First Death by TK from Ling Tosite Sugure? I don't know. Tablet by Tubo. Chainsaw Blood by Vondi. And Dogland by People One. So, yeah. But the question I want to pose to you, because while this is pretty exciting news, the question I have is, do you think that we're going to see the same ending credit animation for each of these songs, or do you think each episode is going to have a new ending sequence, and or they'll pick how when an arc is finished or the season is finished, they'll play the credits with the song at the end of the episode? Do you think they'll go more so along with that?
I think it's going to be the latter of what you said, which is they're just going to run the outro song and credits with whatever scenes playing out. I would find it hard to believe that if they're going to spend all this time, searching for 12 unique songs that will fit the vibe of, whatever sequence we're in within Chainsaw Man for the first season, I find it hard to believe that they would try to pigeonhole them all into one ending sequence too. Yeah.
But to kind of counterpoint on your thing, I don't think that they were trying to find songs to match the endings. I think it's more so they asked like, "Hey, we have an ending sequence open available that we need music for. Can you do it and fit this theme?" Because like
Yeah, I
the
mean,
theme of some of these songs are just like all over the place. So like Tablet, Chainsaw Blood, Time Left, like some of them are really like, okay, this is gonna end in like a fight, and some of these are like, okay, maybe this is just gonna be a cliffhanger type episode.
yeah, but I still feel like they obviously paid a lot of attention to where each episode was ending and the mood and intensity level and whatnot. So I'm positive that they spent time to be like, okay, we want a unique ending songs to match the feel of wherever this episode's finishing
Yeah.
off. Let's try to just match that, you know, by
Can you give
and
us
make
something
that as
that
our
feels like
seamless.
this?
Yeah, and make it a seamless ending, not one of those ones where you like it chops off and then like boom, ending credits of like all the characters dancing and frolicking in the woods and like happy go lucky song plays. It's like no, we want it to feel have the same intensity or same mood or same emotions that this last portion of the episode is in. So
Yeah.
I that's my guess. I mean, I doubt, like I said earlier too, I doubt that they would spend all this time finding 12 songs or you know enlisting artists to create 12 different ending songs for it to just be like no, it's all just going into the same ending sequence.
Yeah.
Like that just seems far-fetched to me.
Yeah, I think we are both kind of like in alignment of what'll happen. It's just a matter of what order are they gonna be in. So
Yeah,
really looking forward to it, man. We are just fucking,
so
let's see
close,
here, 15 days away. So
so
whew,
close, we're almost there. We're
almost
almost
there.
there.
But almost there, not quite, is news story number 3. Mob Psycho 100 is recasting its dub cast. Crunchyroll confirmed the news dropped by Kotaku that the company will be recasting its characters for Mob Psycho 100 Season 3. This is strictly the English dub. This isn't your Japanese subtitled version, it's just the English dub. But Crunchyroll spokesperson stated that the decision was made so that they could record at the company's production studio in Dallas, and that in order to, quote, accomplish a seamlessly per our production and casting guidelines, we will need to recast some roles, end quote. However, this goes far beyond a simple, quote, recording location, end quote, issue for many of the voice actors. Kyle McCarley, English voice actor of Mob, made a video on Twitter explaining the situation and sharing his side of the story, in which Kyle, among many other voice actors on Mob Psycho 100, requested that Crunchyroll make the agreement under the AFTRA
Yeah,
union contract, Screen Actors Guild of America Federation of Television Radio Artists. Kyle and many other actors are part of SAG AFTRA, usually do work on non-union dubs simply because of the lack of protection that the SAG-AFTRA union affords its members when contracting with companies. Crunchyroll refused to agree any of the terms, even refusing to meet with Kyle in person to discuss any of the terms to the contract. So let's unpack this before we kind of go into the next point, because I feel like those are two different points about a similar issue. So
yeah,
there's been a lot of talk about Crunchyroll having voice actors come back to Texas, have everybody record in the same studio, maybe not necessarily at the same time, but record on site, because according to everybody now the pandemic is over, which anywho.
yeah,
Um I think that this is going to be a larger issue overall in the coming months, and you're going to see this happen more and more and more until Crunchyroll decides to talk to people who are in the union. I think that also the fact of Kyle saying that, hey, I'll do this non-union, but like I want you to have conversations about doing union work in the future, and them just refusing outright is also just another kind of just slap in the face to this, I guess, topic, because we're seeing this a lot in video games as well, where I think the first gaming company, I think it's Ravensoft, it's one of the subsidiaries of Activision
yep,
Blizzard, in which
yeah. I think you're right.
they started their first union for the video game industry for QA, I believe, and that's been a huge deal, and it's starting to spread more and more into other uh, entertainment venues. And this is no different, but this is one of those weird ones that actors, actresses, uh, and other people in the entertainment industry on like the Hollywood side, they are almost always a part of a union.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is so weird that this is the one side of it that isn't part of a union and isn't doing union work, and if they are, it's limited union work.
Yeah, SAG is nothing new. Like anyone in the entertainment industry knows about the Screen Actors Guild, and that does encompass voice actors, not just exclusively like film actors. It's covers a wide gambit of
Yeah,
people in the entertainment industry. Um, yeah, in Kyle's case too, he's a member of SAG-AFTRA and has declined other roles because of this too. So there's been situations where he's been adamant about them using a union contract, and the whatever company they're going through basically refusing, and him just refusing the role. I think I read the article that's saying that he was the voice of a character on Scarlet Nexus and
the
just
video game or
refused
the anime
the
or
video
both.
game and the video game, but
Okay.
refused because they didn't use a SAG-AFTRA union contract when doing the anime adaptation, and didn't do the voice of his character. So yeah, the really glaring issue to me though is that Crunchyroll was very adamant about not having any sort of like dealing with SAG-AFTRA union contracts, like so much so that, and again, this is coming from Kyle. Obviously, it's still one-sided, but there hasn't been a lot out of Crunchyroll in terms of like what actually, what from their perspective what happened. But basically, in Kyle's video, which I highly suggest you go watch on his Twitter, he outlined the fact that it wasn't about money. Like he was going to get paid really, really well without a union contract. Like that was not the issue. The biggest thing for him is that he, along with many other voice actors, want the protection of the union, because being a part of a union and being under a union contract comes with a lot of benefits to obviously the voice actors in terms of just general protection. So that way, like Crunchyroll can't come out and be like, hey, guess what? We're just going to terminate you for no reason. Or, hey, guess what? You're not coming back for season 4. Like the union would be able to protect him and the contract would be able to protect him. So it's not just a money thing. It's a lot of just protection for these actors that are ingrained in the industry, that have a lot of different roles, that want to take on more roles, but just want the protection that comes with being under a union. So for Crunchyroll to just outright refuse, especially when, according to Kyle, they were being very flexible, the terms were still very flexible in the union contract, they wanted to make it work, they just wanted to be under SAG-AFTRA because of that extra layer of protection. The fact that Crunchyroll just blatantly was like, no, absolutely not, no way, and went so far as to say, you know what, no, we're not doing it. If you don't want to be under, if you want to be under a union contract, then we'll just find someone else.
Also, to note real quick, this isn't just Crunchyroll. This is Funimation.
Yes,
theoretically,
yes,
like
Sony.
This is Funimation joining hand in hand with Crunchyroll now and being under the same umbrella. These are the same people that were still working at Funimation when, when they were still two separate entities. So just kind of keep that in mind, that it's not like, oh, the people at Funimation wouldn't do this. No, this is literally Funimation doing this, but now they're under the name of Crunchyroll.
And I'm glad you brought that up too, because the Scarlet Nexus anime, which I think was a Funimation/Sony production, was the one where Kyle refused to do it because it wasn't under a union contract. So yeah, it's not, this isn't a new thing since the merger or anything. This has been an issue in the past.
Yeah.
So I'm very worried. I mean, the fan outcry is very obvious in social media and in a lot of places.
That's not only just due to this and the union work, but it's also due to the second point that I wanted to bring in, which was also that this came in the wake of like literally this year. We kind of heard about it early in the year, and I think we brought it up in a previous episode at some point. But many of the English voice actors on the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, which made fucking bank, the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie, the highest billed person on for like the English voice acting was like $1,000, but a majority of
Hmm.
people were paid anywhere from like $150 to $300 for their roles in the film. No residuals, no royalties, nothing. They just got like a flat 150. Like the voice actress who played Rika, which is for all intents and purposes has a minor role speaking wise, but has a major influence in the movie, was only paid $150. And
Yeah.
that combined that with all of this union work, that's why you're seeing a lot of fans being like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm just gonna stick to subtitles anyways because fuck your couch. This is awful.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's this is a perfect example of why it's important for voice actors to have the ability and the right to just blatantly refuse if it's not under a SAG-AFTRA. Because again, it's just these people deserve a lot more than $150 for a speaking role. I mean, it's really annoying hearing that Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie makes like what 300 million, something like that.
Overall, it made 13.75 billion or 196 million worldwide. But I'm trying to find the
Okay,
numbers for just U.S. So continue talking, and I'll find that for you.
I mean that number alone, though, right? Like, it, it's astounding to me that these production companies can look at that and then look at the amount of money they pay their voice actors and go, yeah, that's fair. This is where SAG-AFTRA and would come in and be like, no, it's not. Here we're going to fight for our voice actors. This is the purpose that we stand for, is to protect those a part of the union, and everyone has a right to. I mean, anyone in any industry, no matter what, you have the right to establish a union, and no one can tell you otherwise. Everyone has that right to. And for Crunchyroll to look at SAG-AFTRA unionized voice actors and go, you know what, we're just not gonna deal with you,
Yeah.
is a very scary sign. And I'm hopeful that in combination with the fan uproar, in combination with other voice actors in the industry seeing how Crunchyroll has been treating Kyle and others alike, I hope that we see more and more people refusing to do work. Now that comes at the sort of short-term expense of maybe getting less dubbed
Quality
anime right away.
and
Well,
also
and
quality.
quality. Yeah, because you're gonna have those people that'll come in and be like, "Hey, I'm a new voice actor. I want
You're
to
gonna
do
have
it. I'll
Joe
do it.
Schmo like me.
Yeah, I'll do it for $100. Sure, I don't give a fuck. I get
Yeah.
to be a voice actor on anime. That's sweet. Like, yeah, you're gonna have those people, but I think short term, you're gonna if more and more people start refusing, if more and more people start making it a priority to highlight the, I mean, to put it plainly, like the atrocities that these people are going through to like make $150 on a role where they grossed almost 200 million, worldwide
Yeah,
for a
so in the
movie.
the
Like, that's
US,
disgusting.
I don't have the final US numbers, but it grossed opening weekend 17.7 million and they only projected anywhere between 8 to 13 million total.
Total. Yeah. No, that's disgusting.
So,
I
yeah,
mean, I can't do
it's
math like,
fucking insane. But if
I mean,
your top fucking voice actor made $1,000 no royalties and
yeah.
you like made 16, 17 million, like if everybody in that voice cast made that much, which let's just call it 20 people, that's $20,000. That's, by my math, that's still $17 million, just a little less change.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's downright terrible.
Yeah,
And
and
again,
this
I'm
is
hopeful that it's
also
going to cause more and more actors to just refuse work. Just, I mean, for
well,
their own sake, for their future, for the future of the industry too, for their future careers, refuse the work. If they're going to pay you peanuts, don't give them stellar work. Just say, you're either going to get 5 minutes out of me to do every single speaking part, or I just won't do it.
yeah, and this kind of so you were not with me on this panel, but we went to PAX East this year, and I went to a panel by myself, and I always sat next to the microphone because any panel I went to, I was interested in. I always had like drummed up a question in my mind that I wanted to ask because you want to go to a panel and you want to make it interesting for not only yourself but the panelists and everybody in the audience. And one of them was on voice acting in like video games and such, and I don't really remember what the title was, But this was like right on the heels of all the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero paying issues. And I asked them bluntly, I was like, listen, you don't have to answer this, but I know that this is kind of a hot button topic. Like, do people in the voice acting industry usually start with anime to get their start and get their name out there and then move on to other things and abandon anime because the anime pays so poorly? And luckily they were able to answer me. They kind of, they tiptoed around it a little bit, but they were saying that there are people who do make a career out of it. They can get paid enough to where they can make a living, etc., and they can just record anime. But a majority of people do get into anime just to kind of get their name out there, get their voice out there, so they can get projects in video games and get unionized, like you have that unionized video game deal, or have voice acting in movies, etc., and other TV shows that are not anime. So it was one of those things that, like, for all intents and purposes, like, a lot of people do use anime as a stepping stone, but for these bigger roles, for people like Kyle, like, they do it because they love it. Essentially, a majority of them do it because they love it, and for them to kind of get fucked for a role because they're a part of a union and just sucks. Like, it just absolutely blows. So yeah, it's really heartbreaking to see this. I am interested to see who they hire for the dub, how close their voices match the original, because I actually haven't watched the dub for Mob, but I do enjoy the subtitled one. But it will be interesting to see, who they get for it and what the fan backlash for those new voice actors are, whether people are going to be accepting of them, if people are going to be like, you bastard, you should have worked with the union, and Crunchyroll should have never made the show dubbed because we wanted the original voice actor. So it's essentially more to come here later on, but it's really one of those weird situations that what's the fan backlash going to be once the show does come out?
I personally hope that it's all of the hate, all the negative energy is focused on Crunchyroll and not on the replacements, because let's face it, if anyone out there was reached out to by Crunchyroll like, hey, we want you to do the new voice for Mob, you would say yes. If you're a new person starting out, if this is your first introduction and they're like, hey, we want you to do the lead role on a hit anime series, you would say yeah. So yeah, I mean, if this person is coming in and they're getting their first taste of what it's like to be a voice actor in anime, can't blame them. But what you can do is you can blame Crunchyroll for basically throwing aside the voice actor who's been there for the last 2 seasons, whose voice and face is synonymous with Mob, because they just didn't want to go underneath a union contract. Like, that's direct your blame at Crunchyroll. Don't direct your blame at those trying to get a footing in, because they're still making nothing.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the role, they really are just making jack shit sometimes, but they do it because they love it. So again, don't direct your hate towards the voice actors who do take these roles. Please direct it at Crunchyroll and the people who are in charge of hiring, because at the end aka Sony, just direct it towards Sony, because God knows they've made a bunch of decisions recently that are just fucking stupid. I'm looking at you, PlayStation 5 with a separate disk drive.
All right. Anyway.
Shit. Anywho, on to my favorite segment of the week: new dates and announcements. I actually cut. Yeah, sorry. Is that the official noise now for going into the segment?
Yeah, the fanfare.
The transition. Yeah, I kind of cut this list down because I threw everything up in the where are they landing for fall 2022. But we still got a solid list this week. Starting us off, anime director Tomohiko Ito, he was the director for SAO Seasons 1 and 2 and Erased, has started his first manga with artist Meki Kuroyama titled Wonder X. So go check it out. Attack on Titan and JoJo writer Yasuko Kobayashi started a new manga titled Danzai Lock. Bofuri, which has a giant fucking title that I just put Bofuri in here, season 2 has been delayed to January 2023. As if nobody thought that this show was coming out this season, it's official that it'll be in the winter 2023. So good for you, Beaufort. I actually really enjoyed season 1 of Beaufort. Like, it was just like a dub show that I threw on in the background while working. It was like, you know what? I enjoyed this more than I did. This is just kind of like a nice little puff piece. So yeah, it is what it is. But moving on to the next one, One Piece Red stays at number 1 for the 7th straight week and tops Weathering with You as the 7th best anime film in Japan, which is
Jeez,
insane.
Pete. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 weeks in
Just
a row,
keeps
baby.
rolling.
Those freaking weebs out in Japan. Keep it going. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 will come to theaters in the U.S. on December 6th, 8th, and 11th, which is right before my wedding, so I gotta do some convincing with the fiance.
It's funny. We went, my fiance and I and two of our friends went to go see Howl's Moving Castle in theater this weekend, and we saw the trailer for this, and I was like, oh, I bet Frank would cream his pants if he saw this right now.
Oh, I've seen the movie already. It's great. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, no, but for it to be coming back into theater.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's not coming back. This is the first time it's coming to theaters.
Oh, sorry, for it to be coming to theaters.
Yeah, I know, right? You're
Excuse me.
They're only 2 years late with this one, so it is what it is. But I am actually looking forward to this. Recently, my buddy John and I and his wife, we watched all 4 movies, not consecutively, but like over the across like a couple of weekends. So it was a good time. Moving to the next one, Remake Our Life is ending with the 12th volume of the light novel in 2023. I don't know why I stumbled so much in that sentence. It was a really pretty easy sentence. Yeah. I'm actually watching the dub for this one currently. I know you watched this when it came out live last year. This year? Was it this year?
It was this year.
Was it winter 2022?
I think so.
Huh. Yeah, well, it's getting a dub now, and I've been watching it. I've been really enjoying it, but I got to.
It's really good.
It is really good.
It.
It's really interesting though. The voice actress for one of the characters is the same voice actress for Love After World Domination. It threw me through a loop for a second. I was like, where the fuck have I heard this? Because it's such a unique voice. But the light novels are ending with the 12th volume in 2023. I don't think there's a date quite yet. But moving on, Blue Lock will have 24 episodes. It'll be 2 core back-to-back cores, 12 episodes each. Looking forward to this show. I'm hoping that it's as good as people make it out to be. So, knocking on wood. And speaking of knocking on wood, Makoto Shinkai's new movie, Suzume's Door Locking, will get a manga adaptation starting in December's issue of Kondansha's. I can never pronounce it. Kondansha's monthly afternoon magazine, which comes out on October 25th. I don't know why a December issue comes out in October, but it does. So there you have it.
No clue.
Lunatic Circus, the manga, ends its first part. So if you're a fan, you already know this. But if you're not, there you go. This one, I'm just going to put, like, this is a 2-parter for this one. Rurouni Kenshin is getting a reboot in 2023. Part 2. Don't fucking forget that this is the author of Rurouni Kenshin was caught with about 100 DVDs of child pornography. So yeah, have fun watching that one and not having that one in the back of your mind, because fuck that dude. This does not deserve, of all fucking older shows, this does not deserve a reboot. No, it doesn't.
And moving forward, we will not be referring to the name of said anime either.
No, this is the one time, because it is news, and I know a lot of people love it, but like I cannot separate the author from the work. I will never rewatch this show, but
which is fair.
It sucks because like I enjoyed the show. I remember this was one of the first, like, other than Dragon Ball Z, this was legitimately one of the first anime I saw as a kid, like on Adult Swim / Toonami, and it just sucks.
I remember it being on there every so often. We're not gonna talk about it anymore. So.
We will never talk about it again. But there you go. The peeping tom of child pornography is getting his show rebooted. So fuck you. My Dear Moments which is a visual novel game, is getting an anime. Tomo-chan is a Girl is premiering in January 2023. I feel like everything that was supposed to happen this season was like Chainsaw Man's coming out in fall. Let's just fucking push it to the winter because we don't want to deal with it. Like with everything that's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think it was one of those situations where like everyone was anticipating when Chainsaw Man was coming out, so shows were just like, "Hey, we're getting an anime," and that was it. And then the moment that Chainsaw Man was like, yeah, we're coming out fall, October 11th or whatever it is, people are like, oh, okay, good.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool,
we're
cool,
gonna
cool, cool,
announce
cool, cool.
winter or spring of next year or whatever it might be. So yeah, no surprise here that we've got just a score of shows coming out in winter now.
Yeah, it's insane. I need to actually go look at the list, but it's huge and it just keeps evolving because Nier Automata is getting an anime and that's premiering in January 2023. Misfit of Demon King Academy Season 2 is premiering in January 2023. One of my personal favorite announcements of this past weekend, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai is getting a sequel anime which will adapt the 8th and 9th volumes, which is Rascal Does Not Dream of a sister venturing out, and Rascal Does Not Dream of a knapsack kid. I have yet to watch the movie. I own the season 1 and I own the movie. I have not watched the movie, but I will be rewatching these soon because I'm very excited for this show. Did you watch this one?
I started it and then got distracted by the shows that were coming out, so not yet. I do have the manga for both this and Rascal Does Not Dream of the Succubus. Can't remember the second volume of the manga.
I would have to look. Why don't you look it up and you can get back to me while I go through the rest of this.
Okay, homework time.
Homework for you. Another Fate show is fucking coming out called Fate/Strange Fake Fake. A spin-off story is getting an anime special on December 31st. My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999 manga is getting an anime in 2023. Yes, sir, Tyler.
Rascal Does Not Dream of Petite Devil Kohai.
Hmm.
That's the second volume of the manga.
Nice. Very nice.
And away I go.
Away you go. Unite Up, Sony Music's quote next dimensional idol end quote YouTube project is getting an anime at Cloverworks. Really fucking bizarre one right there. That like
made my brain hurt.
Like a basically YouTube like VTuber idol project is getting an anime at Cloverworks. Like
Not just like Hololive or whatever.
I mean it's an equivalent to Hololive.
Okay.
So yeah, but that's interesting. Cloverworks, you do you get that bag. Saint Celia and the Pastor Lawrence anime will premiere on April 2023 on Crunchyroll. It's weird that this one like got the date or the like announcement for spring, and then almost immediately after it was like Crunchyroll. It's coming out on Crunchyroll. Like Crunchyroll is like now making it a point of we have the show, we have it.
Well, yeah, you have to after all the fucking debacle over the last like 2 months,
which we will get into soon. Shortly, yes. My Hero Academia Season 2 will be a back-to-back 2-core, so it'll run fall and spring, and I believe that one's 25 episodes, with this fall being 12, and by spring, I mean winter 2023, winter being 13 episodes. You have a weird face on your
what?
face. Season 6?
There you go.
Did I say something else?
2.
Oh. I think I saw the 2 in my notes.
You did. Yeah.
I'm dyslexic that.
I wanted to make a quick point too that I'm surprised that the 2-core shows are doing the back-to-back. They're not doing any break. It seems very.
I'm wondering
very
if
bold.
My Hero's always done this. They've done this every season.
Yeah. But I mean, like with Blue Lock.
I think I'm wondering if they did like a bunch of just research, especially with Spy Family coming out, like taking the break. Like people are more likely to watch a second core if it comes out immediately compared to not. But it also depends on what's on the plate of the studio, I believe. Yeah. Because if they're signed on to do X project and X project, then X project is like 2 cores now. Then they're like, okay, well, we have to do this one in summer. We'll push the second core to fall. So it could just honestly depend on what they do there, or they're like, hey, we're not confident we could produce at such a quality that we want to, do back to back. I'm looking at you, Comey. That let's just take a season off so we could prepare some of that material. That would be my guess as to why. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the animation takes a dip or not in season 6 of My Hero and Blue Lock. But more on that in the future. This is something that I completely forgot. I don't know where it's showing, but Arknights, the mobile game, Prelude to Dawn, premieres on October 28th. I'm actually, with all the video game adaptations that have been going on that have actually been really good, I'm interested to see if they can make a mobile game good into a good anime. Dude,
Wow.
My dyslexia is just really fucking hitting me right now.
I was gonna make a comment too that we could have gotten an early previewing of like what a mobile game turned anime would be like, but good old Twisted Wonderland. Who knows when the fuck that shit's coming out?
With Disney, never.
Yeah, never
Anywho,
ever for never ever never.
another weird, interesting one that I'm just like scratching in my head. Me and Roboco. It's a popular, semi-popular Shonen Jump series. I think it's I don't know. Its rankings seem to be keep like dipping and dipping and dipping. But Me and Roboco anime will be a series of 5-minute shorts and premiere on December 4th, which is super weird. And I'm just
That
scratching
seems
my head.
odd.
Indeed, it is. Another 2-core here. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 will be a 2-core and will also run back to back. So I believe Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, that ran back to back if I'm not... No, maybe they took a season off. Can you look that up for me?
Away I go.
Away you go. World Trigger Seasons 2 and 3 are getting an English dub. I believe Season 1 was just a really long season and it just had an English dub back in the day, and then when it came back, I don't know. Season 2 and 3 is getting an English dub. Good for you, World Trigger. My Dress Up Darling, the manga, it topped 7.5 million copies sold. To put into perspective, it only has 10 volumes in Japan and 6 in the United States. And good sir, you have an update.
It did run back to back. Real quick too with My Dress Up Darling, because I don't see it in here. Did get confirmation that there will be a second season. Just that was it.
Sure that happened earlier this year.
Nope. I mean, it happened like 2 weeks ago.
Did it?
Yeah, it was like confirmed from the author. Like there will be a second season. So, yay!
All right. Well, we got.
I'm sure we announced it before too, but whatever.
We gotta hustle through this because we got the last news story. We got 2 more. Sorceress Stabber Orphan, which that's a title if I've ever heard one. Season 3 will premiere in January 2023. So there's
3 of them.
Season 3, yeah. Apparently, there's 3 orphans stabbing people with sorceress intent. 2 Cute Crisis manga is getting an anime in 2023, and that looks pretty fucking adorable. There's just a bunch of like cute dogs and animals and such on the poster.
I hope they all murder each other.
I hope they don't. That is all for news and new announcements and dates. We are now moving into our last news story, which is Bleach's Bizarre Adventure? ? So for those of you who don't know and haven't followed the escapades of Bleach, Bleach is in fucking purgatory right now. It is, nobody knows what the fuck is going on.
No. Bleach is in fucking nowhere. They're in the space between time. No, they're in the space between time. Purgatory actually exists. They're in the space where no time exists.
Where just isolate all of our religious fans.
Where nothingness is everywhere.
Anywho,
that's where Bleach is.
Bleach, both the sub and the dub, is leaving Hulu on Saturday. Why? We have no fucking clue, but we can speculate, as it has been these last months, that Disney Plus is migrating the entire Bleach library onto their streaming platform in preparation for the new Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War this season or this fall. Neither Crunchyroll nor HIDIVE have listed the new season of Bleach in their fall lineups. We still don't know if the new season of Bleach will be simulcasted outside of Japan, even though many have tried to say that it has been confirmed. It's just been confirmed that there's a simulcast. The latest news from Viz was that the anime would be simulcast, but I just said that. I didn't even look at that point. Anywho, so will we ever get news on Bleach, or will it be time to gather the straw hats and just head to the seas? Only time will tell, but time is running out with fall right around the corner. Tyler, I want to bring up 2 things to you, and you can give me your theories on this. So we have Bleach leaving Hulu this weekend.
Yep.
New York Comic Con the weekend after, which will show the premiere of Bleach episode 1.
Yep.
Do we get any news on where Bleach is going to be in between the two, in between like next week, before the premiere of season 1 and when they take it off of Hulu? Do you think we get anything like, hey, the original Bleach is coming to Disney Plus? Oh, by the way, Bleach is also Bleach, the 2 movies and all of Naruto is leaving Netflix in October. I think it's
Yes.
October 14th, which is 3 days after or 4 days after the premiere of Bleach, Thousand Year Blood
Yes.
War. But
Yep.
yeah, like, when do you think we'll get news on this? Like, realistically,
I'm gonna paint you a beautiful picture, okay?
paint it for me, baby.
Lights go out in New York Comic Con. Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War comes up on screen. Fans rejoice. The first episode airs. It looks fucking magical. The fight scenes are crisp. The animation is stunning. You have all of your voice actors from before. Everything's perfect. And then the final scene rolls, and you just see one little twinkle in the sky in the far distance on the screen. And the Disney towers come out
on a
of the
star?
star. No,
And
I
everybody
think
creams their pants.
no, everyone shits their pants out of fear
Both?
that the mouse has
Porque no los
returned.
dos?
Yeah, you can do both.
Yeah.
I just, if they don't announce anything at New York Comic Con, if they only screen it, boy oh boy, will there be riots in the mean streets of New York.
There will be a 1,000-year blood war in New York.
There will, and it will take place in the span of a day. Actually,
Yes.
not a day. It'll just be a span of like 2 hours. That's all the energy that weebs have.
Until the weebs get a paper cut and they're like, I'm going home.
I'm done. I just I would find it hard to believe that no news will come out from New York Comic Con. I I get the sense that they're trying to do the thing that Chainsaw Man did, but just in a really shitty way.
Yeah.
Where like Chainsaw Man was like, hey, listen, we're taking our time. We want to put all the pieces together. We don't want to do this prematurely. It's coming. We promise you. This is not fake. Like you will get it soon. It just needs to have the final polish added because we want it to be perfect. Bleach is like the fucking like drunk uncle. Like I don't fucking know what we're doing. Who are you? Like I don't. Who am I? Like just deal with it. Like it doesn't know what it's doing. No one knows what it's doing. No one knows where it's going. All we know is that they're going to show the first, I think, 2 episodes at New York Comic Con.
A Bleach?
I believe it's 2. I don't think it's just the first
if you
one.
want to keep ranting, but I will
I can
say
keep ranting
that
on this.
I will say that to kind of put into perspective, Bleach and Chainsaw Man were doing the same thing that Xbox and PlayStation were doing for the new console generation, in which it's like, we're not going to release our release date. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. And then like they were just playing chicken, and then somebody did it, and then like within a week the other person did it. But now it's just like Chainsaw Man did it. Where are you at?
Well, and I mean, Chainsaw Man did it in the correct way too, which is like, hey, we know we're being streamed. We're streaming on Crunchyroll. Hey, we know we're getting an English dub like almost immediately too. That's good to know. Hey, the last piece of the puzzle. Well, then, hey, like here's our second trailer, which I mean, to be fair, was incredible, but not really needed because the hype was already like to the maximum level. It just only increased it that much farther. And the final piece was just the, hey, here's your release date. Get pumped. It's finally happening. Yeah. Bleach has been, hey, here's Bleach, 1,000 Year Blood War. Here, hey, here's a trailer. Hey, here's a trailer. Hey, here's a trailer. Okay, bye. Oh, by the way, no, we're showing ourselves at New York Comic Con. Okay, now bye. Like, you can't do that. Like, there are too many questions left. Fall is basically here. We don't know where you're being streamed. We don't know if we're going to be able to watch it outside of the US. We don't know anything really. Like, it's bringing back the horrible summertime rendering vibes of like, is it happening? Is it not happening? Are we going to have to find a way to watch it outside of the United States? Are we going to the high seas? What's happening? Like, just there's radio silence too close to when there should be like just a overflow of news, right? Yeah. Like they're waiting to like the break point where people are like about to just start going pitchforks down to Viz being like, where the fuck is this? Which, funny enough, Viz has no control over this. Viz is just like, we're just the publishing company. We have no fucking idea either. Like, it's getting to the point.
Things, but then we'll be fucking sued to the oblivion by the house of mouse.
Yeah. You're getting to the break point though.
To get back to it, it is only episode 1, and especially since it says in the New York Comic Con post, like in the actual like, timeline that it is just episode 1. Also, it's only the panel is just an hour long. So, yeah. How mad would you be if that one episode 1 is like 15 minutes recap of what's happened so far and then like 6 minutes of new material?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past it. It's a big 3. That's like boilerplate formula for what they do every episode. Last time on Bleach, and then you're like, half the episode just ended, and nothing new happened. So,
Yeah.
It's
frustrating.
Yeah, it's really frustrating too, because this is one of my, this is my favorite of the big 3. And granted, I haven't read up through the source materials, so I'm just like going in blind. I'm like, sweet, 1,000-Year Blood War. I'm like, I know what happened at the end of the original run. Like, I know what's going on, ish, so to speak. Yeah. Like, I wanted to go into this blind and just full of young joy, like I did when I first watched it.
Too fucking bad.
Yeah, basically, it's like a big kick to the face and the nuts at the same time.
Yeah,
and then also getting a wedgie.
Well, speaking of something that does bring us joy, it leads us to our last segment of the day, manga/anime of the week. This is what we recommend you spend your time this week reading and or watching. Kick us off here, Tyler, because I have yet to actually think of something and pull something out of my ass.
I mean, mine's basically pulled out of my ass, but it's just a new one that I'm reading on the Shonen Jump app that I find interesting. It's called Tokyo Demon Bride Story. It's cute. It's kind of like a fairly standard-ish shonen. The concept is interesting, with basically like the demons crossing over from the different plane, and this young boy comes across a demon, doesn't realize it, makes a promise with her that when he grows older, he'll marry her. And the year comes when he's of age, and she shows up, and then all this craziness starts to happen, and she's a badass, and the debauchery afoot when a demon princess is abound. So it's entertaining. I wouldn't say it's anything like new, so to speak.
Nothing mind blowing, but it's fun.
Yeah. The art style is I really like the art style. I think it's got like these weird elements of like being very cutesy, but then terrifying on the next page. Yeah. So that kind of always keeps you on your toes. But yeah, it's a fun read. Go give it a try. I think there's only 4 chapters out so far, so not much to catch up on.
There are. I've been reading it as well. I actually just read the newest chapter today during my lunch break, and I do really enjoy it. It's a fun read. It's better than a majority of the new stuff that's been coming out on Shonen Jump. So other than Akane Banashi, because that is the fucking it's so good.
It's the best.
But my recommendation for the week is actually going to be an anime that I'm currently in the middle of re-watching. It is a show called Re-Life. I watched it back when it came out, and I didn't realize, like, I knew season 1 had come out, and I knew like an OVA came out. I didn't realize like 4 OVAs came out, and those 4 episodes or something really wrapped up the entirety of the series, so to speak. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like the whole series is done because of the OVAs. So I'm like going back and rewatching the entire show. I'm on episode 10, and like I knew I liked it to begin with back in the day, but like I forgot actually how good and how wholesome this show is. Like, if you don't know the premise of Re-Life, guy who's just a fucking just down, not necessarily down on his luck, he's just a lazy piece of shit. He's 28, he's lazy. He kind of says he's like, oh, I'm applying to jobs, I'm doing this, but he's not giving it his all. He works at a freaking like isekai, or not an isekai, just like at a corner store, and his parents are about to cut him off like the next month, and so he basically really has to find a big boy job. And a company called Re-Life Labs approach him and says, if you take this pill, we will pay for your living expenses for a year. This is just basically going to be an experiment. In the drunken stupor, he takes the pill and he turns into his like 17-year-old self again. And he is now a teenager, and he's being enrolled back in high school to basically do it over again and find the like missing feelings that he had as a kid that he's missing now as an adult. It's a really fucking good show. There's nothing weird or horny about it. It's really good. I definitely give it a watch. That is my recommendation. But thank you all for joining us this week. We will be we will be back next week with our I almost called it summer 2020.
Do you want to start this? Just start the ending.
Just
again.
Yeah, we'll try it again.
There you go.
Thank you for joining us again this week. We will be back next week with our review of summer 2022.
There you go.
Not every show that we're watching has been finished, nor have we finished every show we've been watching. We really need to catch up on that. So that is why we pushed it to next week. Plus, we had a lot of news we wanted to talk about. I have a feeling your cat just bit your foot. That was the look you were just giving. So
No.
yeah, okay. But yes, we will be back next week with our summer review. So look forward to that. If you don't want the conversation to end, head to Twitter at Baka&Co Podcast, where you can talk to us directly there, join our Discord and talk directly to us there. And tell us what you're looking for, what your conspiracy theories are on Bleach, and whatever else you want to throw at us. So until next time, Spark Triumph, we'll see you then.